Okay, so everybody voted no full video tutorial. Most of you feel like the picture is enough to help you put it together, but I wanted to do 3 different things for those who haven't done a tier tray yet or haven't done a kit that uses these specific products. I wanted to show you quickly how to use them. The first is the baby wipe. So this is a completely optional step. When you take it out, it should feel damp. If it has dried out, maybe it's taken a while for you to get to your kit, then I would get like a spray bottle with just water and just squirt it. You do not want water dripping off of it, but you do want it a little damp. So what this is gonna do, you could honestly use this with any color you wanted. When you use a baby wipe to paint with, instead of really putting the color on, it's gonna make it look more like a stain. So for instance, this is a piece I've already done. I don't know if you can tell, I did the frame with the baby wipe, and then with the banner, I did the one with the leaves. I did that with a baby wipe. So if I had used a wedge to put the brown down, it would have come out super dark. So get your brown color if you decide to do that. And I gave you way more brown than you're gonna need, so save it for another project. You are going to want to do just the tiniest bit on the, you wrap it around your finger and do the tiniest bit of brown. And I would even like wipe it off on my box. And then all you're gonna do is like take your banner and then just start wiping it. And try to do it in a little bit of an even, I go with the grain, just so that it looks a little bit more even. And then it looks like that versus the really, really dark color. And I'm gonna do the same. And I mean, I would just keep the same amount that's on there, and it's gonna go a while. And then when it starts to like get too light, then reapply, and then again, use your box to get a lot of the excess off, because you really need just the tiniest amount. And that's just gonna give you the stained look instead of a really dark color. So that's what the baby wipe is for. Now we're gonna go on to the sanding. So in previous kits, I gave you some sandpaper, and you'll notice this one is way more coarse. The previous kits, the sandpaper is basically just to do like a fine finish. It's just gonna make everything smooth. But in this kit, I really wanted to do a more of a rustic look. I don't know, it kind of fit the fall theme, I felt like. So as you can see, it's all, almost every single piece I have sanded in some way. So that's why I gave you the coarse one, so you're not trying to burn out your arm muscles. So basically take the pieces that you want sanded. The greatest thing is like, you really, when you're painting, you only need to do one coat, and it doesn't even need to be like, it doesn't need to be double coat, because you don't want to have to sand off a ton of paint. So I'm trying to see, the sun might be in the way, but you can kind of see some spots that when I was dotting it with the wedge, I missed some piece of the wood, and I didn't even care because I knew I was going to come back and sand. So use a light touch at first, because you can always go back and do more, but once you take it off, it's not forever. You just have to go back and paint it again. So the biggest thing that you need to remember is, especially on these little delicate pieces, like if you did the leaf, then stay away from the stem, or be really careful, because you don't want to break these delicate pieces. I didn't sand any of my white color, so I didn't sand any of these words. I personally didn't sand the brick background of this. You could, but all you're gonna do is just like this. And it should come off. Unless you've done a ton of coats or a really heavy coat, it's gonna come off really easy. There's no rhyme or reason, honestly. It's just whatever looks good. And then so for this piece, this is the bead garland. You don't need to sand the middle because this piece goes there. So all I did was I came around this edge, and then I focused on the edges of the middle piece. Can you see? Yes. And then I just kind of did a quick, and this will get dusty. So then it's just this fun little rustic accent. So do that on all of your pieces. On the leaves, I would be very careful. I went down on my stem, and then all I did was I just focused on the edge. So I just took basically the corner of the sandpaper and I focused on the edges. Take off as little or as much, and then just did a quick swipe up here and there. So take off as little or as much as you want. If you feel like you went overboard, just do one more coat of paint. You should have plenty of paint. Okay. Oh, and then on this, that's all I did. I went with the grain. So on this one, my grain was up and down. On this piece of wood, my grain is side to side. So you don't really need to focus on the edges because that's being covered by the frame. But I just did a quick donezo. That's it. And then glue everything on. Okay, now for the beads. I need to pause because I did not bring tape over. So just 1 minute. Okay, so for the beads, this is for this pumpkin. Then you got a tassel. Do you guys like it when I pre-make the tassels, or do you want me to teach you how to make the tassels? Because I could just send all of the twine and teach you how, or do you just want me to make them and send them? Let me know. Okay, so you'll get the tassel, and then this is 12 inches of twine, and then 10 beads. So first things first, I didn't bring a pencil either. If this got squished down in shipping or transporting, then you need to be able to see through. So you might want to get a pencil and just carefully poke the pencil in there and then just kind of like squish it down so that you can see through. So then take the twine and put it all the way through. I might need to pause again and go get a pencil so I can get this through. Nope, it's right there. And then just on the very end, because you want probably as much of this left as you can get, just tie a knot. Okay. And then and then you can trim that now or later. Like I have a little piece left. You can trim it now, or you can try to put it up in the bead. I'll show you how in just a second. Then you're gonna take your beads. Oh, first, if you wanna make this much easier, get a tiny piece of tape. You can use painter's tape or just normal Scotch tape, because this twine is going to start to fray, and tape the end temporarily. It's kind of annoying. Like so. That's gonna make your life way easier. And then you just get your beads and you start threading. So if you don't want to cut this off, then you can, if you have like a little hair left, just put it up in that bead, and that actually will help hold it in place actually. So maybe do that instead of cutting. Maybe watch this whole video before you do what I say. And some of these beads, like this one, I'm gonna get it, if it has like a lot of debris in there, I'm just gonna get like a pencil and clear it out. I'm just gonna poke. And I don't have a pencil around me. I guess I could just do 9 beads instead. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so once you thread all your beads on, first of all, glue this pumpkin, but I didn't put any of this one together. And then you're just going to tie a knot as close to the beads as you can. Oops. So tie like this, and then, whoops, the tape is stuck. And I'm gonna try to get it as close down before it tightens, as close to the beads. So pull, there we go. And then you can thread this backwards. I should make sure that you're actually seeing this in the video. I would just do like 2 or 3 beads and then just cut the rest of it off if you have like a ton left. Oh, you know what? You probably won't have as much because I ixnayed one of the beads. Okay. So anyways, and then this is just a cute little accessory garland that it can just hang over the top or on the bottom or however you want. So if you have any other questions or you need a video on actually putting these pieces together, then please reach out. I am more than happy to film anything or just explain it to you if words are easier. So I can't wait to see your kits.